Okay, so Parsha ends with a strange mitzvah as mitzvah go. Shtickle. It ends with the thank you, Egla Arufa. The Egla Arufa. The if, help me out here. If a guy dies, well, not dies. If a guy is presumed murdered, right? He doesn't just die, right? He is presumed murdered, right? That's the assumption here. He is found dead. How about that? Right? Well, compromise. He is found dead with presumption of murder between two cities. So then you measure the distance of the body to the city. The closest city becomes responsible. They bring Zkenim. The way Chazal understand it is the Sanhedrin HaGadol comes and measures. The local Bet Din then goes through the procedure of the Egla Arufa, in which they go down to a ravine. They take a heifer, they kill it from the back of the neck, right? And they say, "We have not spilled this blood."
They spilled that one.
Well, so that's what I want to focus on, just that little detail right there. But let's just summarize it, right? We say we have not spilled this blood, and we are therefore not responsible, etc. Okay? Whose blood is that meant to represent? Let's just focus on one detail, right? Sometimes we'll just zero in. So, whose blood is that supposed to represent? And I want evidence for whatever you say. What are the two possibilities? No, it's clearly... No. Who does the blood of the Egla Arufa represent?
Oh, is it the blood of the murdered guy or the blood of the murderer?
Good, right? Those are the two possibilities, right? Good. Why would it be the blood of the murderer? Well, what? Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly correct, right? The reason that you might think that it's the blood of the murderer is because the necessary kapara for murder is the spilling of blood, right? Right? V'arez lo tichupar ki im b'dom shavcho, right? Shofech dama adam ba'adam damo yishafech, right? But the blood shall be spilled, right? V'arez lo tichupar ki im b'dom shavcho, right? And the land doesn't get kabar until that blood is spilled.
Put it in context.
Now this is one second. Let's just spell out the idea, right? This is how Shadal takes it essentially, right? That it is the blood of the murderer. Now that is not a majority position. Now you can talk. Why is it not the majority position? Why is that? Right? What is the alternative, which is that it is the blood not of the murderer, right? That this is a stand-in, and until we can actually spill the blood of the murderer by killing him, right? We spill the Egla Arufa. Again, there's an inherent logic to that, right? Because the only way to get kapara for murder is by spilling the blood of the murderer, right? That is clear, right? That is several psukim. But why is it the majority view is that this blood is symbolic not of the blood of the murderer, but of the murdered?
Because the purpose of the statement going out is to say that we didn't kill him.
Okay, let's be even more careful textually here, right?
Figure out how to do it. So
textual. Because, well, let's read through the psukim, right? This is where I just want you to be able to pay attention to text, right? The reason that Shadal makes a lot of sense conceptually, right? Again, it makes a lot of sense conceptually to say that the blood of the Egla Arufa is symbolic of the blood of the murderer, right? Because since you don't have the murderer here to kill him, and you can't spill his blood, which is the only way to achieve kapara, there is inherent symbolic logic to saying that the blood here is the blood of the murderer. But it doesn't actually work in the psukim, because I'll read you the relevant psukim. V'horidu ziknei ha'ir ha'i et ha'egla el nachal eitan asher lo ye'oved bo v'lo yizareah. V'arfu sham ha'egla b'nachal. Right? They take down the heifer into the ravine and they snap its neck and etc. V'nikshu ha'kohanim b'nei Levi And the betin will come. And they will wash their hands, and what will they say? V'anu v'amru Yadinu lo shavchu et hadam hazeh. Our hand has not spilled this blood. Why does not the murderer? Because there are three bloods possible, right? There are three bloods possible, right? Murderer, murdered, and obviously the actual blood we're talking about of the Egla Arufa. It clearly doesn't mean number three. Why does it not mean number three? No, because they actually killed the Egla Arufa, right? It is clearly not Yadinu lo shavchu et hadam hazeh. Of course they did. They literally just killed it. That was the entire point, right? It can't be the blood of the Egla Arufa. Let's leave that out, right? But it can't be the murderer because
they would have no reason to stay, have no guilt.
And you want to spill the blood of the murderer. That's the entire point, right? If the blood represented the murderer, that would be really weird, right? Say, you want to spill the blood of the murderer, right? That's the point. You want to find the murderer and kill him, right? That wouldn't be a reason to be guilty. That is your mitzvah, right? And therefore, it's clear in this pasuk that who is it?
The murdered.
Yes, the murdered. That this is symbolic. Now, who says that?
Even as Rashi.
Rashi, thanks. Right, right, Rashi, right away. Right, he says, Yadinu lo shavchu, v'chi'alta alev shezignei beidin shofchei damheim. Do you think that Bezdin are murderers? Ella, lo re'inu patrum v'lo mezano v'lo lelayat. Right, he's quoting from Chazal. Right, that Chazal say, we pour this blood, and then they say, Ki'ilu, this blood is the blood of the murdered. Right? And we are not responsible, and we wash our hands of the blood. Literally, we are not responsible. Right? And therefore, Kaper Amcha Yisrael Asher Padita Adonai, Va'al Titein Dam Naki Bekar Amcha Yisrael, V'nikaper Lahamadam. Now let's follow Dam each time. Right? Atone for the people. Va'al Titein Dam Naki. Right? So what does that mean? Right? Right? So it's a bit hard. So let's read the Rasag here of Sajagon. Al tatil alehem onesh hitrashlut bidam naki. Right? Don't hold them responsible for being derelict in their responsibilities towards this blood.
Them being the Zkanim?
No, the people. The Zkanim are saying, forgive the people for dam hanaki, meaning don't hold them responsible for the blood of the innocent that was spilled. So here, again, the seeming thing, the dam hanaki is obviously not the dam of the murderer, because the murderer is not naki, right? And therefore it is the murdered, right? B'kar Am Chayisrael v'nikaper lahem hadam, right? And the blood they shall be atoned for the blood.
Why would we be saying, forgive the people didn't do it? So we do want to kill the murderer still.
What?
We do still want to kill the murderer. So why are we saying?
So here's where I think it gets interesting, right? But here's where it gets, right? The next thing is Va'ata tiva'er hadam hanaki mikirbecha. This is the interesting thing, right? I think, right, there's really 2.5 possibilities here, right? It could be the murdered or the murderer, right? I think every time you look at it, it's clear, right? It is the murdered, right? But in the background, and I think this is where Shadal comes in the background, what is clearly the imagery that is being invoked? That we want to find the murderer and kill him. And the only way to really, really get kapara for this blood is to find the murderer and bring him to justice. And I think that's what the next pasuk is getting at, which is Va'ata tiva'er dam hanaki mikirbecha. Right? Clear out the blood. Now this is really weird, right? Because normally tiva'er means, right? That means we're talking about the murderer now, usually. Right? But it's hadam hanaki mikirbecha, right? Clean out the clean blood. That's not really, right? So the way Rashi, Rasag all understand it, which is Magid, she'im nimtza hahoreg. If you find the murderer, achar shenit arfa ha'agala harezi yareg. You still have to kill him. Right? Tava'er dam hanaki, tava'er rotzeach hanaki. Right? Meaning, there's this ambiguity, right? It sounds like Teva'er Adam Hanaki is kill the murderer whose blood is clean, but that's obviously wrong because his blood isn't clean. Right? right? But it's the pasuk is sort of hinting, right, that tiva, right, the way Rasag gets it, tiva'er rotzeach hanaki, right, eliminate he who killed the person who had innocent blood, right? So I think the word blood, Rashi is right, that it consistently means the murdered. But Shadal is right that the reason there's this emphasis on blood and blood and blood and blood and blood, right, is to highlight the fact that, yes, what we're talking about is culpability for the person who was murdered, but the point of this whole process is because fundamentally, right, what should happen is that we should find the murderer and kill him, right, because his death will be what brings kapara, right, and therefore the word dam almost definitely means the blood of the murdered, but what's floating in the background, that emphasis of dam, is that we are looking for, right, the murderer. We still are going to look for the murderer to punish him, because that's really what we need for full kapara, right? This is a stopgap, right, measure until we are capable of doing that. Right, now Ibn Ezra does sort of note this ambiguity, especially in the last pasuk. He says, right, two ways of reading the last pasuk are either pirusho, unesh adam anaki, right, is punish the punishment of the clean blood, meaning the murdered, oh yeah, adam naki. The yesh omrim ata chayav levaer shvichut damim, or it means you have to get rid of murder, right, which is sort of a different way of taking this. But he said that doesn't seem right, it seems to be on the murdered, right, but there is that ambiguity going on here, okay?
Get rid of murder.
By killing all murderers.